Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is Cee, certified brewhead.
And I'm Tiffany, the liquid enthusiast.
And welcome to episode 10 of Beer and Other Shit Podcast Link Up series. This has been phenomenal so far. So you might have seen the first 4 episodes with Overhop, Blood Brothers, Nickelbrook, and Four Origins for the first 4 beers. And now we're moving into week 5. I feel like this has flown, this series.
I know. Yeah, it's gone really fast. And all the beers have been incredible. Just amazing.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I don't know if we've sort of gushed about it enough, but, all the breweries have just been so gracious with their time and with the fact that we've even participated. The beers have all been phenomenal. We even had a great call, I don't know if we talked about in the last episode, with everyone, which was a great initiative to get all the breweries on, to have a chat together for an hour and just connect, have a drink, and talk about everything. So it's been a really great experience. I feel like it's just kind of getting better and better as we're going and tweaking it. So this episode for the 5th beer, the 5th week of Series 2. Now, this brewery has not been on BAOS yet, which is a travesty, but we're fixing that this year. Honestly, one of my favorite breweries in Ontario, no hyperbole. So I'm super excited to try this beer. We're just going to bring him right on here. Please welcome Justin from Matron Fine Beer in the building. There he is. What's up, bro?
Full applause for you.
We brought the crew.
It's nice. There's a live studio audience back there.
Yeah, just behind the camera on the other side.
Now I'm getting nervous.
It's okay. They're very quiet aside from that. Great to see you, man.
Oh, great. Yeah, good to see you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah,
genuine pleasure, dude. So yeah, like I was saying, this is your first time, but we're gonna do the big one to get into your full history, because you have done quite a lot in your time in beer in Ontario. So we will not touch on that today, but we're going to be doing that in the coming months at some point this year. So what we're going to talk about today is the Link Up series that you were so kind to participate in. This one is super cool because you did the highest ABV beer that Matron has ever done for the Link Up beer in your West Coast Double IPA. There we go. Look at that.
It's like it was made for me.
Right?
Thank you.
So I'm super excited to try this. So let's get this cracking. Which can? I'll try and get the nice one. This one. You want to pour this time?
Yeah, I'll pour it.
Yep. So dude, while we're
simultaneously here.
Yes, there we go. We'll be just so we are.
That's a dope glass.
Yeah, that is nice. That's a Matron glass, of course.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
The floof master, we call it.
Okay, we need one of those.
I love it.
Your merch game, sorry, totally off topic.
Oh, yeah,
it's just like so lit. Even the shirt you're wearing. Oh shit, I forgot to take photos. The I noticed you're wearing like a crew neck or something like that. I love it. It's just like super fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't do a ton of merch, but we just try to do like some good pieces.
The branding is
strong, and your glass. I love your when we hung out. I think it was like September at the brewery, and the glassware that you had for the Yeast lager was that like similar to the Rodenbach one, where it's like the tumbler with the little lines at the bottom. Super fire. Super fire.
Yeah, we love that glass. It's the classic.
It's beautiful. What's that? Does that have a name?
I don't know. It's like an old Lambic or farmhouse glass, I'm pretty sure.
Love it. It's just super classy. I feel like I don't really see it. The first time I ever saw it, to be honest, was Rodenbach. So I love it. So, man, look, tell us about this beer. So this, like you said, a West Coast. I actually hadn't even seen until now, because Tiff just poured that, what the actual liquid looked like.
Beer looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's like a nice West Coast style IPA. So like pretty clear. But we put like a nice malt body to it with a hefty amount of Barn Owl Pale Ale. Okay. Balanced it with a little bit of Barn Owl Pilsner.
Yeah.
Some oats, a little bit of wheat in there for good measure. And yeah, we hopped it pretty significantly with
what do you got?
Some local Cascade hops.
Okay.
Which gives it like a nice, clean, citrusy bitterness. And then we whirlpool hopped it with some Mosaic and a little bit of Galaxy, and then in the dry hop, it was like a combination of all three: local Cascade, Galaxy,
Mosaic.
and Mosaic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and we
amazing.
went with those. Yeah, we went with those hops because it was like we don't do double IPAs. Like we've never done a double IPA. This was kind of a fun opportunity to do something a little bit outside of our usual repertoire. Not that we're strangers to this style by any means.
Not at all.
And we know you love your double IPAs, you guys. So
We sure do.
we're like, why not do a double IPA for this?
Oh,
So
I love it, bro.
Quite appreciative.
yeah.
Yes, extremely. Like I was stoked. Like I was saying, to you
Everything
off-
going on right now, I'm like, this is the beer that I need. So,
It's right. With the it's a nice way to take our mind off the world and all the crazy shit that's going on. So got that.
Yeah.
Take that. I'm gonna cheese you in a sec. Tiff is just coming to sit. We got the photos, Yeah, man, this smells like I just cracked the can while you were describing it, and like it was just a boom, like just a tropical punch to the face. It's glorious.
yeah,
Well,
it smells pretty great.
It smells amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Get it in ya.
Get it in ya.
You know the vibes. Woof.
Mhm.
Well, that is glorious.
Oh, nice.
So is this like
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell me if I'm wrong here, but your flagship Janky, and I've had Danky as well. Are they? Would you consider those a West Coast? Because they feel like more of a hybrid situation to me.
Ish.
Ish.
We love to throw ish onto the end of that.
Ish.
East Coast ish, with like a little more bitterness present, and then for Janky for sure, like that one's like kind of Vermont inspired.
Vermont. That makes sense.
But then Danky,
Oof.
that one's like more West Coast ish, a little more malt presence, a little more
Okay.
color, and then like more present bitterness too.
Okay.
So you get the sweet, you get the bitterness, but it still finishes like nice and dry.
Yes. As opposed to
Yeah.
this one, where this is more of a traditional. I'm getting a lot of the pine, resin. There's a nice little bitterness in the
Bitterness,
back
yeah.
end in there, like a grassy bitterness.
This mouthfeel is fascinating. Like,
Yeah.
it's like so smooth tasting.
Is that the oats and wheat?
Yep.
Yeah, what's that about?
Oh, oats and wheat for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
We managed to like clear it out though. Still, like the just the amount of hop oil in it, and we kept oat and wheat addition relatively low comparatively, so still could get it to flock out and be like nice and clear looking.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good like IPA clarity. Just like a
Yeah.
tiny bit of haze, but not too much.
Yeah, it's like
old
opaque.
school, a little old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
old school. I like that a lot. Bit of like the it's like
There's like a smoky thing happening here. Is this correct?
smoky.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Smoky
Maybe that's the
thing.
pine.
Be a little piney.
Oh,
piney
maybe it's
character.
the resin, and I'm thinking about the resin.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something
Different
there
kind of
happening
smoky.
with there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I don't
so
know.
much like candied sweet tangerine on this guy.
Yeah.
Tangerine.
That's what it is.
Yeah. That's what the bitterness
I was
is.
getting like a citrusy, kind of like that pithy vibe on there, which is so dope on the West Coast. Yeah, but you've also got the crazy note, like the nose is insane. So like, it's really interesting because it kind of almost tricks you, like you don't expect it almost to be a West Coast, and I think that's really cool. I feel like I'm seeing that a little bit more and more, where like there's West Coast that are hop to the shit and like they have a nose that's more aligned with the New England, but they've got everything else is a straight West.
I think when West Coast IPAs initially hit the scene, no one really understood how to dry hop shit properly,
That's
and then
a good point.
and then we got better at it. So
So now,
That's right.
we got
Is that-
better
is-
at doing the aroma.
okay, so that's really from the dry hop. I'm taking the notes for the review as you're sort of talking through it, because that's a great explanation of it. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
As if when West Coast were popping, nobody were really dry hopping and stuff. Or at least to the
It
level.
dry hop, but it was like not in the excessive quantities that we dry hop in now, or like
Right.
biotransformation wasn't really a thing. It was like finish the fermentation, crash it, and then dry hop it. Now we're like, it's starting to ferment. Let's put some hops in now. It's almost done fermenting. Put some hops in now. That kind of thing.
Right, just keep them
Just
going.
throw the hops. Yeah, just keep going.
Keep it going.
This is great, man.
Yeah.
This is super
Tastes
cool.
awesome.
I was saying to you earlier, I noticed that sort of, I mean, obviously qualitatively, but I had like a couple of friends hit me up telling me they're excited about it from when you did the newsletter blast, I think a week or two back to kind of tease it out. Because you hadn't done a beer like this before, the response is great. So like super grateful that, that you decided to do that, something like this for Link Up, man. I'm stoked. It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, we're super excited about this too.
This is sick. I think I'd like to talk about as well. I know you and I talked over, I think, email or text about it, but the label art here. So for those listening, it's like a brown label with these sort of like a deep yellow, almost orange. How would you describe the design there?
It's almost like a kind of mid-century flower pattern.
Okay.
But then they're all kind of like linked together.
Yeah.
Our logo is intertwined in the mix, and there's 3 dots that are kind of present in the front.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to represent, Matron, the beer community, and Link Up. So intertwining all these things together. Yeah.
I love that.
I love it so much. I was just like staring at it. It's just so gorgeous. Just really
and we, obviously the yellow is present with the other Link Up branding, so we kind of pulled off that and worked it into like our palette, which I think turned into like a really beautiful label. One of my favorites. I think.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Like I would have this like as a print.
Yeah, this would look sick on
like
the wall.
This pattern is just really cool. Yeah, this would look really cool on the wall actually. We should try later to get these all printed out.
And you can just
like all of these.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to talk to all of you guys, but
I feel like
it would be dope to have them as like, because all the labels were just like sick. They're so interesting and cool. Like everybody just like interpreted the like Link Up in their own different way, and it's like unique to everyone's brand. It just looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
If not, at least for us, like I would love like this would look so awesome.
I love that aspect of this, collaboration project, that it is like, diverse. It's different, and like everyone brings kind of a different idea to it and has their own take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that we don't interfere with that, and the funnest part of all of this is seeing the end result, because there's no consulting, like do whatever the hell you want. Like if we were to do like a BAOS Matron collab, it would be a back and forth. We'd be like, what style do we want? We'd figure out all the ingredients like intricately. And then, of course, the label. But with this, it's more like, go nuts, do whatever you need. And I think that there's like a beauty in that for this type of project. Because each brewery has surprised us in a great way every single time, like bar none, as far as their approach. Like even just those small things that I kind of noticed those 3 dots, but I didn't think you were going to point that out, that it represented something. And that to me is like the coolest shit ever. That the thinking.
I love that you picked up on that, because when we were emailing back and forth there, you're like, "Yo, what's I feel like there's some like thought process behind this," and I was like, "There is."
Yeah.
But there hasn't been one that hasn't, though, which means that every brewery is taking it seriously to the point where they're all like everybody has gone and done that, and it's like it's so cool because you've been able to find a way to represent what the program's about, whilst keeping it absolutely true to what you do, both as the product inside the can and the label on the outside. It's wicked.
Yeah.
Well, it is, it is a serious initiative, I think, and it's just something very important that needs to be, addressed and championed within our community. So I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Love it, man. It's super, super stoked. I was, after we came and saw you in, I think it was September.
Yeah.
I was just like, when the next one came out, I was like, oh man, I think I might have told you about it. And I was like, I really hope Justin's down, because it would be super cool to have you in on this. And so I was really stoked that you and the team were into it. So thank you again, bro. I appreciate it. So with that, what was it about, what about this program? Obviously, this might be a cause that, or seems to be a cause that's a passion for you and the team there. Yeah, but what about this made you want to get involved in this type of thing?
Well, I mean, there's been so much discussion and kind of like light shone on the imperfections of the craft beer industry in the last couple of years, I guess, especially like, the last year with Brianne Allen's stories on her Instagram that's, you know, I think really shone a light on just like the toxicity and the like lack of
Diverse representation.
diverse representation in the exactly in the community, and how we have this notion that the craft beer world is like it's better and that it's like you know, such a great place to be. We're all fun loving people, but then it's like, you know, there's racism and there's sexism and there's, you know, like toxic work environments and abuse and like you know, people being taken advantage of. And thinking back, talking about this with, you know, my two business partners, like who are both women in the beer industry and have faced a lot of adversity in getting to the position of owning a brewery. Like, it's incredible that they've lasted this long in the beer industry. And like, even thinking back to my early days of being, you know, a 20-something-year-old who was just like passionate and wanted to learn and like get as much experience as I could. Like, you know, like I have a lot of privilege, which I recognize, but there was people just looking to take advantage of my passion and my, you know, drive to learn. So if I can help other people overcome, you know, some of the barriers that I faced or that Mallory and Jess had faced, or, you know, other people who have a more difficult time than me, like, I'm happy to do that. And I want to like help the industry get there by talking about it, by participating in these collaborations, and, you know, just building a place that the work environment is, you know, a good place to be, that people want to come to work and learn and produce and create. So working with you guys, if that helps us bring in, you know, people from different communities that might not necessarily have the access to jobs the way that, you know, like everyone else does, then like that's what we want to be a part of, and that's what we want to help do. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
I was going to say from the, I mean, you're based in Bloomfield, Ontario, which is a town in Prince Edward County, which is one of our favorite regions of Ontario. Love it out there. We've been going back as often as we can recently, and you know, we've sort of paid attention to the general, you know, diverse makeup of the community there. Obviously, not being there,
lack
or lack thereof. Yeah.
Lack thereof, I think would be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, because we're coming in and we're going to different places, and it's obviously difficult for us to be able to tell. We went in late November and early December for a bit, and there was less. Obviously, that's when a lot of people leave the area. Like, you know, when it's in the summer, we went a few months before then, and it was rammed everywhere. But in the winter, obviously, it was significantly reduced. So I thought that maybe that would be a more accurate depiction of kind of the general makeup of the area. But yeah, just curious as to sort of, due to that, obviously, you're not really going to get people coming from too far away because they're not going to travel that far to work. But yeah, like, how's the applicant pool when you have jobs, regardless of what those jobs are, whether it's, you know, in production, front of house, or wherever? Like, what does that look like currently for you guys? It's slim, just in general.
Yeah.
And typically, you know, you're getting a bunch of white guys all the time.
Right.
Like, that's kind of. It's kind of it, to be honest, out in the county. We're lucky, you know, we do have some really intelligent, talented women on our team now. So that's like, you know, something that we try to do and have like a very, you know, balanced work environment in that regard. Like, you know, we don't want to be this like male dominated brewery that's like full of dudes in there. So, you know, we've always tried to be conscious of like making sure there was like a good balance of staff. But yeah, as far as like, you know, getting in other non-white communities, like, we're in like rural farmland right now, and there's just not that much diversity out here right now, and you can see it in like every single brewery in like, and I'm not even going to say in the county, just like across the period in general, like at least in this side of the province, I'd say. But is that just like it raises a greater question of like, it's not that those jobs aren't available, like we have them, we just need to put more diversity into the positions. Like, we can't just have white guys filling these roles. We need, people of all color and all communities and backgrounds and ethnicities to take part in this. And like craft beer is like it's a worldly thing. Like it should be attracting like everybody to it. So I think by, having a job board, I think is like a really cool thing to start championing, that like the breweries involved with Link Up can post on, because then it's showing, BIPOC communities that these are safe places that are, supportive and willing and want to create a good work environment. So maybe they see themselves in those positions, and the more that they see other people like them in there, then I think that gives, an indication that, this is like a good place to work and I will find myself at home here. So
facts.
No, I think that's true. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, you did? Okay, yeah, I think that what you were saying too about seeing people who look like them in the place, so it's like it becomes a trickle down effect in the end. Like you go in and you drink from there maybe, and you start seeing people who look like you, so it makes you more interested in it. I'll say that that's kind of like what makes me more interested too. Like if the vibe's there, if I see people who look like me, I'm just gonna be like more of a return person. And then on top of it, if you hire people who are of diverse backgrounds, you get their referral network as well, which will likely look more like them, and then that's how you continue to bring more people in. So it's almost like what we're trying to do is just like put 1-2 people in all these different places, and then hopefully it continues from there. Like let's try to get as many people involved and get in so many different people across the board, so that way like everyone starts bringing in their family and friends and all that, and like hopefully that goes down.
We already know that this method works. Because it worked for bearded white guys. Yeah,
there you go.
There's a lot of bearded white guys.
That is a proven formula, so there you go. Yeah.
If you swap out all that, then
it's going to flip it.
And that's also why it's interesting, and that's why it's like important for it to be almost at the managerial level at these mid-levels as well. So not only looking at, and some feedback that we get too from brewers is that, and some of all the owners that we've interviewed basically, is that they're like, people come in for the jobs, but we don't get as many skilled, like diverse skilled people in the brewer category. So we might get them in some of the other levels. So that's why it's also important to put people in a position where they're also able to hire, or at least be close to hiring decisions, because then most people are just generally inclined to hire people they connect with. And it just means more people who look different will make connections with different looking people, and that's kind of what will also help that as well.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
I guess the one sort of challenge is like whether and we actually learned this from Brewski. Derek from Brewski was saying that where he grew up, he goes, there was like one Asian kid and one like Jamaican kid, and that was it in the whole town or region that he was in. So one challenge is like, if an area has no or little diversity, definitely that's something that obviously there's nothing anybody can do. But at the same time, like you never know who lives there. Like you've got to try and do it. We have to, I guess it's part of our challenge, is to tap into the communities wherever they might be. And I feel like there's always pockets of people, and people tend to congregate with the people that look like them and that are from the same area. I've seen it here when we first moved here. I got asked to join, I think, 3 or 4 football teams, and I never played football, like in any sort of thing. I'm like, why am I going to move to the other side of the world and then hang out with a bunch of Aussies and play football? Like, why would I do that? It makes no sense. But some people feel, I came here to meet Canadians and to be around it. Some people do feel more comfortable in there, with people who came from the same places. So totally get it, being that I'm not from where I'm from. I don't live where I grew up. I understand that concept, but typically if we can find just some people, that means there's typically a community around that group of people. So we're just going to try and tap them in. And we were kind of surprised, if I'm honest, about the county the last few times, because we're, doing link up and whatever. We're always a little conscious of the people around us and who everybody is. And we're always like,
I'm black, so I'm always looking to see like how many. I'm doing a black count. Like how many black people live in this place. It's just like a thing that's going to happen. Like, that's just like. And that's why we're always conscious no matter where we go, because I'm just like curious.
But it wasn't so bad in the county.
No,
what we saw.
So I thought that was interesting.
We thought there'd be zero, nothing. But every single time, even went to that Mexican restaurant to pick up food in Wellington, because we stayed in Airbnb and picked it. Yeah, right. I know, just thinking back. And just like we'd always just go pick up from restaurants, different ones. And, you go pick up. Sometimes you see a bunch of different people there. We're like, oh shit! Like, it's sort of surprised us. So I think there's definitely something.
There's definitely opportunity.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I mean, like, the county is changing. It's growing. There's a lot of like younger people who are getting out of the city and moving to the county now, and like working remotely or like starting businesses or working for like hospitality industry and stuff, and that I think is like helping bring some change and diversity to the area, because before that, like, it was all farmers. You're either Scottish or you're Dutch. That seems to be like the prevailing backgrounds in the county. But like everyone came from somewhere, and it's nice to see people coming into the county and making themselves at home and getting integrated with the community and building a new community, essentially. So
that's cool.
It gives me hope that we'll not just have like a completely whitewashed town. It'll be people of all backgrounds. I love living in a city, but I also like the space that we have in the county. And when we moved out here, it was like, man, like this is like weird that it's all white people here, basically. But then you spend a little more time, and you start to see a little more diversity. And I think especially in the last, like, we've been here for, I guess, coming up to 4 years now, which time has flown. But like in the last 2 years, I feel like it's starting to see a bit more change, which is great.
That's awesome.
You sold us on land, by the way.
That was that
time when we came and hung out with you. I was like, oh, like this is like
what's see the
possible.
End there? That's how far. I
was like, this is possible.
Like, that's what you can get.
Like, you could build a school for your children, like on this property or something. That's crazy. No, I love that. And I think that you're so right. Also, like, as Toronto kind of expands outward and people purchase in different areas and people leave the city, we're going to see that kind of come up. And there's also the thing where, like, people may travel for opportunity sometimes if they just want something new, which is also why we're hoping, like, online, like, having this, like, social presence and stuff like that will make somebody just maybe see it and then be like, you know what, damn it, I always wanted to be a brewer. If this is the place that will give me this opportunity, like, I'll just go there. You know what I mean? So I hope that that's what we find as well.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
we would love that. And honestly, like, I can't tell you how nice it is brewing at a farmhouse brewery versus like the industrial park in the weird part of the city. And you come into work in the morning and the sun's rising. It's beautiful. There's a mist on the field. It's lovely.
There's like 4 gorgeous cats walking around. I can't remember how many, but there's
that's right. You had the kitties.
Yeah, you had the kitties hanging out with the cool
kitties. Yeah, sometimes the neighbors' cows break through the fence, and you'll find them in the backfield and
it's hanging out,
having a chew and hanging out.
What's happening?
So you guys visit Prince Edward County.
Look at it.
Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
That could be you.
It could be you.
Yeah. Are you hiring yet, or are you hiring right now, or?
We are actually. We're just about to get some job postings up, so
please let us
know.
Send some your way.
Absolutely.
We're going to be kind of hiring, all across the board, from back of house brewery to front of house too, hospitality things, kitchen and deliveries as well. So
nice.
We got lots of opportunity. We're a small company. We're growing a fair amount, and we're going through like a pretty big growth period right now. So
awesome.
We're adding some infrastructure. We're putting in some new tanks. We're putting in a canning line. So all that comes with, more space for people, which is good.
Love that. Yeah.
Congrats, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to ask, excuse me, on this, this type of initiative, have you guys done any other sort of things? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be around diversity specifically, like what we're looking at, which is mostly in ethnicity and stuff like that. But have you guys participated in things like this before, and whether it's whatever way?
Not something in this regard necessarily. Like we've, used our platform to, I guess, raise small amounts of money through like beer, like $1 on beers to send to different causes. But this one I think was like a more interesting and like public facing initiative that we wanted to get behind, and like really because it stands for what we're about at Matron, inclusivity, making a better beer industry. That's, I think, really spoke to us, and like it certainly opened our mind up a little bit more about doing some of these, like the Brave Noise initiative, for instance. Like we've paid very close attention to like everything going on with that, and we have like a very set brew schedule for how we release our beers. It's always kind of been a part of our thing, so we haven't really hopped on any of these I guess like bigger collaborations, like open source collaborations, I guess.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something that we might start doing a little bit more of. But yeah, I feel like with this one, there was like a certain appeal to it, being that it was like helping our community on like a really grassroots level. It wasn't just like an awareness thing. Like, we're legitimately trying to build a better community through getting people into it.
Yeah.
Whereas, the other ones, while they're very good causes, like I just didn't necessarily see how we would contribute to it when there was like so many other breweries in our area doing like these initiatives. And honestly, like I think one thing that kind of like, bummed me out about some of those like open source ones is like it seemed to be a little bit of bandwagon jumping on it. Like
I can see that.
There was breweries that I know have issues that have been perpetrators of harassment and abuse and sexism and racism, and then they're like, but hey, we did this collaboration, so we're cool.
You mean like Founders making a Black is Beautiful?
That's
exactly.
I swear they did. I think they did, which is like, I think it fell off like completely, but
yeah.
I think they attempted, which is like, this is hilarious. That's like the greatest form of like, are you out of your mind? But yeah, I completely hear that, and it's so interesting that you say that, because that's the same feedback that we were getting, where people were saying that like they wanted to make sure that what they're doing doesn't feel like marketing, and it's just like a marketing push, and that we have to jump on this because like yeah. No, I think that's fair.
That's, we feel like action is more important than words, so
yeah.
We wanted to, if we're going to do this, we wanted to do it with like the right people, and like make sure that we're doing it for a good cause, and stood behind it. So yeah, I think the initiative that you guys have put together is Link Up it's smart, and it's good, and it helps get people like actually in positions to make a difference. So
love it.
Thank you.
We want to support it. We're happy to be involved with it, and yeah, hopefully we can also like hire from it too.
Yeah,
that's the aim. I feel like there's two kind of sides to it, and this is sort of touching on a bunch of stuff you spoke about. So obviously one part is making sure we're bringing people into the industry, particularly introducing people to craft beer, to be like, hey, this is an option for you. You can be a part of this, and you can contribute more than you possibly could imagine. Based on everything's always better when there's different people represented. Maybe they've got something in their culture that they, hey, why haven't you used this ingredient? Like, oh shit, that's amazing. Let's try that. Things like that. The flip side of it as well. I mean, then there's the job side. So that's actually helping people get the jobs, or at the very least have the job board, which we got a big meeting tomorrow with the whole team. So we're going to be, I think it's almost done. So we should be able to launch it by the end of this series, which is the aim. To sort of wrap up the series and be like, hey, the job board's finally here and we can actually start putting things out. But the other part is the consumer base. So, obviously we want people to work in the industry and be able to, like you were saying, to relocate for a job, even if there's nobody in the area. Totally cool. But we also want to introduce people to craft beer as consumers, because there's equal amounts of value, I think, to the industry if we're introducing some folks from different communities, to craft beer, and they're like, oh wow, this is amazing. And what happens when you like something that's good? You just share it. Mm-hmm. So
that's where the beer festival we talked about comes into play.
That, my friend, is a genius idea, and that is tabled very strongly for tomorrow. Justin came up with an amazing idea for everyone during our chat last week. And it kind of blew our minds, and it's something that we never even considered.
Yeah, at all, yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, we put it on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, like straight away.
Oh.
The old beer festival model is broke. And,
right.
I think like more grassroots-driven initiatives that push like a social gathering of beer drinking, that's the future, That's what we support. So
yep.
I'd love to be involved with like a link up beer festival.
I just feel like it's just such a sick idea, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I
it's peer pressure.
No, it's
pressure right now.
Pressure accepted. Let's go. I want to do it. Like I was saying to you guys in the call, like, I don't know, we got festivaled out because of, just like it's work for us. Like it's fun, but it's still work.
Yeah, I know.
It's work for you too.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of work for us, and I get a little bit frantic and stressed at these things.
I got to capture all the content.
Yeah, particularly in the beginning, because then you get trashed, right? We've got a whole bunch of people, and you want to enjoy it, and then you end up drinking too much, and then, all right, make sure we got everything before we get too drunk. All right, now we get then it's fun.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of this because, like you said, we've got so many opportunities where we could have it, multiple ones at different places to attract different people, whether it's in the cities or some of the towns, because the breweries are from all over, fortunately for us, for these two things. So, man, it's such a dope idea. So I think the beer festivals are one. Definitely a way to bring people in, because who doesn't want to go and just drink a bunch of fire beer from some of the best breweries? Gotta be honest, some of the best breweries in both provinces have participated so far. Was super fortunate with that. Super fortunate. I was curious to, being that you were a head brewer and you basically ran the shop in another brewery in Kingston before opening Matron. I mentioned that just because it's a bigger play. We didn't realize how big Kingston was. We went a bunch recently.
Only the last time we were
Yeah.
there, we were like, whoa. Like,
this goes all the way
we
back.
only went in one section ever, we realized.
We went to your old spot,
Princess,
and then we went
is that
and we
Princess
left.
Street or something?
Princess Street. But we went all the way down Princess Street this time because
Yeah.
we went to Daft and Fine Balance and stuff. So
And there was like a huge mall there that we'd never seen before.
No, we went to the mall.
Yeah, we went to the mall. So we were on this
It's
whole
sprawls.
other side.
Yeah.
We were on this whole other
Yeah.
small side all this time because we only went basically to...
I think it's called Division Street. We get off we have like when we go to Toronto, we're like, all right, jump off at Division, go to the beer store, drop off the empties, go to the LCBO, go to A&W, and then on our way. It's our thing. And back when you were there, we used to go to your brewery, keep cruising up the street, go to that, and then come back and do those
There
things.
was a dope burger spot across the street or something too that was really good.
Oh yeah, the
It
big.
was like a burgers, like a all
Forgot the name
burger
of it.
spot. I can't remember. It was really good. I think it was like across the street and to like the right or something.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And
yeah.
we went to
yeah.
a cafe there last time. There's a dope cafe there too.
Oh yeah, we just went to a cafe there. That was
What was
really
it
good.
called?
Oh no, is it Northside?
Northside.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, that was
No,
fire.
wow, that
Yeah, they
that's
have
the thing I
one.
miss most about Kingston.
Yeah, there's like one spot in all of. We found the only kind of quasi third wave cafe in Picton. There's only one that has pilot beans. Everything else is
Yeah. What was that? Lily's?
Lily's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
that's it. Which was.
We always find the one third wave cafe.
always
That's
find
the
one.
goal. That's
But
the goal.
at least keep
There's-
your head. Go.
Beacon Bike and Brew is pretty good in
Oh, I
Picton as
had that on the list too.
that was
we
the
didn't
other one on the
go.
list. So we
We
didn't.
didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah. We messed
good,
up.
good coffee, really good coffee.
Okay.
They got like a little bike shop in there too.
What do they
Yeah.
use?
Don't
What
they have like
beans?
good sandwiches or something? I think they have like crazy
Beans?
sandwiches or something
Mm.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, big sandwiches. I think they usually use Quietly for their beans.
Oh, Quietly's good. Okay, so third wave proper
Quietly's
beans.
good, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, and they sell a lot of other beans. I don't know if they like rotate their like machine
Like roasters?
stuff, but
they got a bunch.
They got
Okay,
some,
they got some fire.
Yeah.
So I guess my long-winded ass.
Kingston's
Kingston's
got 7 exits. 7 exits. On
Yeah,
the
it's
highway.
massive.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
why
like,
it's so
how
big.
is it continuously?
But I guess we just did our thing and then left.
Yeah.
We used to do, when we were performing a lot back in the day, we used to do shows there. We had a bunch of connects who used to always do shows. So we went and we did the shows it was a comedy club. It was all on Princess. So we only saw the same area all the time.
Yeah.
Until literally like December when
Yeah.
we had to go to the mall and get some stuff or whatever. Like, oh my God, there's a 2-story shopping mall here. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So my long-winded ass point is the diversity of your customer base. Did you see anything at the old brewery? I know that was a little while ago. And then, what are we seeing at Matron now? Like, what's the vibes looking like? I'd be curious.
Yeah, I mean, in Kingston, there's certainly more. We're in like a little downtown area, so
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot more diversity happening there. It's a pretty big student population, and we
Right.
had like a nice community of students that supported the brewery as well. And you've got people of all colors coming through, drinking
Right.
beer together and having a good time, which is nice. And like even with our staff, like I think we it wasn't just bearded white dudes.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah, we had like I think a pretty good balance of different personalities, different people from different backgrounds, and like it made for like a really good vibe there, which I think in the time that we spent there, we built like a really cool thing. And that we'd love to be able to foster more of that in Prince Edward County.
Right. So, okay. So, I mean, that's really what it is as well, because I feel like that's, typically most of what it is. I mean, like you said, you've got a bit more in Kingston, there'd be a lot less in Bloomfield. But, yeah, part of the other challenge is to introduce people to craft beer. We're sort of looking at, I think we talked about some of it on the Big Call, but, yeah, a few other different ways to maybe tap into the bars and just a few other ways to sort of, like, grow, because that's one of the biggest challenges, is to try and actually get the attention of people that, hey, this exists. Check it out. Like,
And we should tap into the organizations.
that was
too.
the main thing, yeah.
Like, not the beer organizations and
No,
the
exactly.
cultural
Yeah.
organizations, because that's what we were always telling breweries to do.
Yeah.
But that's probably something that we need to actually do, is like reach out to the Jamaican Association, for example, or something like that, and just be
Like, hey, can we share
hey,
these
like, because they
jobs?
normally have job boards and things like that in these communities, so it's like we could just be like, hey, just so you
Right.
know, like, we list stuff, so if you want to take from here, these are breweries, they're all open and down, like,
It'd be cool if there was like a universal
Great
body
idea.
yeah,
that would like say, instead of, because then literally there's going to be a Jamaican association in every city, so
Yeah.
then times that by every background or every country.
yeah, there's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's why we want to hire someone altogether, to be
Yeah.
honest, that like, even because there's just so much potential too, and of course we're all doing this in addition to everything else that we're doing, but there's just like so much potential. I feel like we have so many ideas. We're going to come to a point where we're just going to want to bring somebody who's like full-time dedicated, because there's enough work here to make that happen.
Yeah.
So, which I look forward to, like a full program manager. Because I think there's like, we'll all obviously be working, but I think there's a room for like a full person here.
Easily.
Like I think there's so much
Yeah,
that we can do.
Certainly becomes like a founder's bottleneck. That's something that we're like, as a business, kind of navigating right now. Is like, you have the idea, you incept it, you make it happen, and then suddenly there's so much created work and you want to control it all, but you can't. You need to start delegating. You need to start getting someone in that position to help make it happen, right?
Yeah. Right here with you.
So.
Right here with you, okay?
Yeah.
Literally, like, we said the word bottleneck probably 2 hours ago or something. We're like, we just hired a full-time social media manager
she accepted.
And then Craig's like, one other notch to reducing the bottleneck, because like I'm a huge blocker and bottleneck. That's what we always say. Because I don't trust. I have trust issues. So there you go.
If you want something done, sometimes
do it
you
yourself.
gotta do it yourself.
I know, but it's terrible.
But that's the mindset that we have to get out of as co-founders or whatever. So
yeah. But
Delegate.
delegate. Yeah,
It's
it's
key.
key. Yeah, wow. Look at
Yeah,
that. We
look at
literally
it.
said the first same exact words, and we're like delegate.
Yeah.
It's key. And we're twinning.
Yeah.
Oh, can we plug
Yeah.
shameless plug for a second?
So we got not only last time we got the old link up TQ glasses, which I don't know if it's gonna like.
Nice.
There we go, nice and
Yeah,
sexy.
good.
Available at Saint Baron. And do you want to just turn around? So we commissioned a young black female artist to do. You can
see
kind
it?
of see it. Yeah, that's good enough. To do these long sleeve Province of Canada shirts that are gorgeous, and they are available now at also at Saint Baron. Obviously, the proceeds she gets a cut of every shirt, making sure that she gets her money. Supporting young black artists, and everything else will go to link up to help us continue to push this mission forward and to cover things like Cicerone or apprenticeships and things like that for the applicants. And also today we're shooting this is February 10th, which happens to be the 18th anniversary of Kanye West's college dropout.
Completely
So,
aligned. Not completely.
Nothing to do with nothing, but we were just listening
It's
to
like,
it, and I
great
want to
segue.
great segue. It's
Great album.
It's
It's a great album.
it's a classic, the old Kanye's we were saying.
Yeah.
Donda 2 coming, February 22nd,
say.
the vibes. I'm excited. So look, we're basically about the amount of time. Was there anything else we want to make sure that we touched on this evening with this at all, guys, or we feel like we covered the bases?
I think we had a pretty good coverage of the beer, the collaboration, and what it stands for and what we're all trying to push for here.
I love
Yeah.
it. No, this is great, man.
And I loved hearing, I love sitting down and talking to all the people that we've worked with on this, because just like so, I don't know, feels good to hear everybody acknowledge and say like what the problems are and like be so interested and excited
In the solution,
which
which is so
like
dope.
so excited about the solution and so like earnest and genuine about it. So I feel like
You
that's
can't
super
pay for
important.
that.
Yeah, you can't pay for that, and I think it's important for other people to see too, because there's a lot of people who don't even know that the problem's happening and don't even think to talk about it or think like, oh, who can I be like spreading the word to or anything like that. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's really cool to see. This is
And-
cool for that reason too.
100%. And I think the beauty of all of this is this series now, like the first series we reached out to everybody. Obviously, we're just starting the second series. I think maybe one or two reached out to us, but the vast majority we reached out. And now for the series 3, basically every single one has reached out to us. We've got 4 of 6 locked in. And one of them, who was sort of a larger brewery that we wanted to work with, said that they heard about Link Up because of the Matron beer. I'll tell you,
Oh, no way.
are off the air because we're keeping it secret. But
All right.
which was very cool. So we're very aware and very grateful of the amplification that Matron and all the breweries involved are doing for the work we're doing, or we're trying to really keep this thing going. So we appreciate you, man, and your whole
100%.
team, and
Yeah.
just the fact that, like Tiff said, that you really care, and that it's amazing. I really
When
appreciate
you
it.
and
Well,
Jacob, because Jacob and Craig do this, so when he said matron, I was like, oh shit, we got matron.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know like we know you and stuff, but it's like I don't know, it's just very.
You
very
didn't have
cool.
to say yes. Is
Yeah,
all
you
it
didn't
is,
have
and,
to say yes just because we.
we get
You're
just
making
as
me
excited.
blush, man.
No, we're big fans, man. Like we really, you're a great dude, and it's always a pleasure to chat and hang out and stuff. But like, we just genuinely love your beers. It's so nice to have them in the fridge because it's just a pleasure.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate
Well,
the
thank
work
you.
you put in.
Thanks for the kind words, and I look forward to having a couple more beers with you down the
Oh,
road
yeah.
and doing another long form podcast.
Oh, yeah. It'll be dangerous. I'm ready for it because he's a little. We could go through a bunch of these,
All right.
right?
Matt Tweedy from Tooth and Nail was telling me that he did one with you, and he was like up to like 1 a.m. And, as the father of a child now, it's like 1 a.m. that's a god awful time.
Yeah, it's I respect it. We could keep it a little more civil. Maddie, we did it on.
We'll start earlier.
We can start.
There you
We
go.
start a bit earlier so we can keep going.
There you go.
We're night owls, hence starting later. Like we usually go to bed about 4, so it's a different vibe. But the Matt, that one with Maddie, we drank. He did a 4-pack of stouts for St. Patrick's Day, and it was like the 5%, the 7, the 9, and the 11.9%. We did all of those ones in one setting, and it was dangerous. So that's why we were up so late. That was fun. But
Yeah, fair enough.
Jeez, it was a lot. was a good
Probably
time.
slipped a coffee stout in there too, you know?
I think one of them at least was a coffee
There you
stout.
go.
He probably didn't have a lot of sleep that night. Poor guy. Poor guy. Justin, this has been awesome, bro. Where can everybody find Matron online?
matronfinebeer.co, and you can order it anywhere in Ontario, and I mean, maybe some other places too.
Ooh, all
There
right.
we go. And it's
Alright.
at Matron Fine Beer on everywhere, essentially, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you guys
That's
go
right,
check
yeah.
them out, shoot them a follow, sign up to the newsletter, you get the special. See, if you were signed up to the Matron newsletter, you'd know about this like 2 weeks beforehand. So
There you go.
do yourself a favor.
Insider knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
Insider. Do you want to?
Yeah.
We're gonna get the thumbnail for the video. Do you want to hold up the can, real quick? Boom.
Oh, here we go.
All right, ready? This way. Ready? That is glorious. We're gonna wrap this up. Stick around once we finish the thing, and we'll finish up on the call there. Bro,
right.
thank you once again for your time. Really appreciated. Everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell so you know when the new drops. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast everywhere. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, every single network. Chuck us a 5-star rating, mate. They got They got the star thing going on Spotify, mate. You hit that 5 stars, boom, you get up in the feed. See, Justin's telling you. 5. You don't need 4.
I've done it.
There you go.
Because you're
Look at that.
this way.
Look
You're
at
the
that.
flipping man. And what's the last thing? These go live we don't go live, but these things broadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. So, guys, stay tuned. Appreciate you all. Justin, appreciate you. We'll see you guys next episode. Get it in ya.
Bye.